The Syrian delegation leaving the talks in Geneva. It's not clear if they'll return, their chief negotiator expressing irritation at comments by the opposition side, who are still stressing Assad must go.
The language was provocative, irresponsible, politically speaking.
His position is perhaps surprising. His Russian allies, since their intervention in the war in 2015, have turned things around for Assad on the battlefield. And in recent months, President Putin has also been in the driving seat diplomatically, reaching understandings with two countries that had led the campaign against Assad, Turkey and Saudi Arabia. It held an important meeting last month in Riyadh. In a major reorganization, prominent opposition figures quit their posts as members of another group with close links to Moscow and derided by some as Assad's stooges were admitted to the Geneva delegation. There's also been an important change of emphasis by the UN. At previous rounds of talks, Special Envoy Staffan de Mistura's main aim was a transitional government.
It is clear the political transition is the mother of all issues.
He was working to the exact wording of his predecessor as Special Envoy, the former Secretary-General Kofi Annan, who drew up the Geneva communique, which was signed by the international community in 2012. The communique, which was later re-endorsed by a Security Council resolution, called for a transitional governing body agreed by mutual consent. That last bit is important, as the opposition has in the past said it would never consent to Assad being part of a transition. What's changed is that de Mistura has now drawn up a list of 12 principles that he says will guide the negotiations in the future.
Can I also get clarification that you are still seeking to form a transitional governing body with full executive power agreed by mutual consent?
The 12 principal points, when you will be reading them, and you will, because at a certain point we hope to produce the common understanding, are completely, constantly inspired by the Geneva Communique and 2254.
But Special Envoy, I've read them, and they don't include those
No,
phrases.
you have not read them.
I've read a version of them.
Yeah, well, that's an old version. Wait, and you will see.
I waited, and hours after that exchange, de Mistura published his 12 principles. Nowhere in here is there any mention of a transitional governing body. A former leader of the opposition has told Al Jazeera the whole process has been compromised. Western diplomats say de Mistura is changing the rules of the game and that his plan now is very Russian-flavoured. James Bays, Al Jazeera, Geneva.